another thing. I'm just winging it tonight. I'm going to tell you right now, this is not the set list I've been doing for the preceding two to 3 weeks. I hope you'll indulge me. I'm not a guitar player by profession. That's not how I've made my living for the past 10 years. Or by inclination necessarily. I think the guitar is a wonderful instrument, but I think it has been allowed to exceed its place. I worked with a producer who had this idea who had this analogy about mixing. He said, you got to think about it as the rock eagle. It's this giant, majestic eagle totem, basically, where the claws are the drums, and the legs are the bass, and then the wings are the guitar, and then everything else is just feathers on the rock eagle. And I think the guitar is like it's a little like an American flag. There are millions of people who look at an American flag and they see a symbol of liberation and freedom and possibility. And there are other millions of people who look at an American flag and they see a symbol of hegemony and oppression. And both things are true. And that's sort of how I feel about the guitar. I bought one guitar when I was 15 years old, and it was because I was 15 years old. And that's what you do if you're a musician and you think that's how you're going to get to make out with girls. And I owned that same guitar up until now. I'm 33 now, so do the math. That's 16 years of one guitar. And at the beginning of this tour, I was going down to Florida to play a festival in Gainesville called The Fest. Capital T, capital F. Because the people who go to it are the kind of people who only go to one fest a year. And so they don't need to refer to it by any other name. And there's a restaurant down in Gainesville. It's called Boca Fiesta, and it's owned by an old friend of mine named Warren, who used to play drums in the band Against Me. And he kind of got out while the getting was good and opened up a restaurant. And I think he's actually might have won the game, because now he's got this restaurant and outside patio and a pool hall. It's a whole complex of things. And that's the sort of thing that makes you rethink your whole attitude towards touring and being in a band. When you see something like that. But they had a deal where the liquor laws in Florida are such that from 1 p.m. on Sunday is when you get to start serving booze. And they have so their incentive for the fest goers is that from 1 to 1:15 on the Sunday, you come to their restaurant and you can get all the draft beer you can drink for free. Whoa. 15 minutes. First call. Sounds like a good deal. Here's where they're clever. You get 100 hungover crust punks showing up at your restaurant at 1 p.m. You give them each a plastic cup, and you only put one bartender on the shift. Everybody gets one free beer. But they ask someone to come and play. And they've got a lot of great musicians in town for the weekend. And Warren asked me to come to do my thing, and I was like, yeah, absolutely, of course I'll do the thing. And I showed up at 12:45 because I'm a professional musician. I get to the gig 15 minutes before the gig. Where do you want me to go with the instruments? He said, up there. I said, up there? Yeah, up there. On the ledge, 15 feet above the dining room area, 4 feet deep. felt like a Vita. Don't cry for me, but with Fiesta. And aside from the first 120 seconds of vertigo, everything went fine. Handing my guitars down, my instruments down. Here, can you grab this? Yeah, I think I got it. Okay, good. And I came down with my guitar. 16 years of valuable service. Slipped on the restaurant grease. Fell 6 feet, landed on the guitar, smashed into 6 pieces. All this to say, I would like to welcome the second guitar I've ever owned into my touring life. It's now done 2 weeks of yeoman's work. Later that night, I was such in despair, I almost called the whole thing off that night. I was like, fuck this, I'm going home. I don't have enough cash in pocket to buy a new guitar. But I wanted to see some shows, because that's why you're there, of course. Because any festival is a chance to see people that you never get to see. And I went to see Frank Turner's show that night. And Frank Turner, if you don't know him, is a really, really wonderful songwriter from England. And he's a true believer. In fact, that's what his new song is about. It's called I Still Believe. And it's about still believing in rock and roll. And he had an introduction for it that went, I still believe in drums. And I still believe in guitars. And I still believe in bass. And he still believes in Rolling Stones and Bruce Springsteen and the whole litany. And I had a surprisingly complicated reaction to it. Because I had just come off a year where I had ceased to believe in that thing that I had spent the last 10 years of my life devoted to. I stole the bottles and I smashed them on the wall. One by one, plastic transparent rockets, gathered them up in my arms. After the show, some in suit coats, inside pockets, Austin to Tucson, trouble in the van. Red wine against the tall boy cans. I still believe in the perfect kind of band. God help me in the perfect kind of band. And then someday we'll make it, baby. Someday we'll get paid back for it. Someday we'll get paid back for the love we put in. And we can forget about it forever. Apple in one hand, cheese in the other. Bottle of wine next to the seat. Rock, rinse, repeat. Rock, rinse, repeat. Biting off bits, calling the dinner. Wacky children, vagrant cynics lined up for the swill. Some sinners left in a Caroline carcass in a desert grave. Front rock wheels splayed like a gold swing on a tideway. Roadside cafes sell turquoise and fudge. It's easy to get lost if you want it too much. But we're gonna make it, baby. We'll all get paid back for it. Someday we'll get paid back for the things we put in. So we can forget about it forever. My puppet bear has matching suits and matching boots and days of wine and roses. Stay up on church holding cards, practicing our poses. A street called Hope in a town named Freedom, where each clock is pointed to the town of love. We celebrate the days we had, we celebrate our love. I will phrase my regrets in along. There's nothing new to play with them, put down the microphones. Nothing new to say with them, just celebrate the days we had. Just celebrate our love. Just celebrate the days we had. Just celebrate our love. Just celebrate the days we had. Celebrate our love. Just celebrate the